Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And you can share with a friend if you enjoy it, and subscribe so you're notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show. This week we're taking a dated kitchen from functional and plain to warm and wonderful.
It's I feel like life-changing, and that might be a little bit exaggerating, but not really.
Chelsea and Jamie Adams are newlyweds who share this small home with their poodle, Rosemary.
We have lived in this house for about 2 years now, and we weren't really looking for a fixer-upper. We wanted to be able to move in and just have little projects that we could do when we wanted to, and not things that we had to do right away. Kitchen is very high on the list just because it is the main thoroughfare. You have, no matter where you walk in the house, you've got to walk through the kitchen.
Definitely the cabinets are a little plain. We would love that if they had some detail. We know that we want to improve the way it looks, the way it feels when you walk in, but we don't have great ideas, or at least I don't.
The flooring and counters were updated just before they bought the house, so I'm here to help them figure out what's next. You got a lot of space in here.
Yeah, it's a very nice open kitchen. We vowed not to have a small kitchen. We didn't want to feel cramped, so.
What bothers you with it then?
It's just kind of plain, you know, just kind of okay. Kind of sprucing it up would be really nice.
Well, you know, if the budget will allow, we can put all new doors on here, drawer fronts. That'll make a big difference, as long as the cabinets are built pretty well.
Yeah.
So, paint it again?
What would it take to stain them?
Oh, just a little work, that's all. But since you guys are willing to do a lot of the work, that'll help us a lot. Well, you know, replacing the doors, that's the biggest part of it, but you still have all of the framing, you know, all of the boxes and things like that you'd have to strip down and then restain. But there's some other ways that we can go about that. Well, look at this. Wait a minute. I have never seen one like that. 13 inches?
Well, we needed the countertop space, and this was the best way we could go with it.
Well, this is really a lot lower than it normally is, of course, with a vent hood. Would you consider, if we can come up with some place to put the microwave that it doesn't take up countertop space, would you think maybe we could get rid of this?
Absolutely.
Yes.
But you know, the other thing, I don't know how much you guys cook and all, but you know, this doesn't extend out and really provide that ventilation. You got the pipe up there, that's all good. But yeah, we could get a lot better scenario with this, a lot better ventilation, and really it'll end up making you feel like you have a lot more space.
Yes, it's definitely cramped. I remember we put it in and we tried to cook gumbo, and we had to pull the pot out to be able to stir it. So that was a challenge.
Well, it's a pretty good sized place, but do you need any additional cabinetry?
Our biggest complaint about this space is that we don't have a pantry, so it's kind of frightening. We have canned goods spread out through here.
Really?
And in the laundry room, yeah,
the
it's
laundry
a little.
room. Oh,
yeah, the laundry room is officially our
the
pantry.
overflow.
That's right.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Well, I'll tell you what, I can think of a number of different ideas that can handle that. And I know you guys are willing to jump in here and help us out a little bit with it.
Absolutely.
So let me get a few measurements and do a little thinking on this. I think we can come back with a pretty good idea.
Awesome, thank you.
Besides replacing the dated cabinet doors and the over-the-range microwave, I would like to reface the cabinet boxes with wood veneer and add a full-height pantry cabinet where the butcher block cart is positioned now. We take measurements of each opening so we can go ahead and order the doors in advance, and Alan begins building the custom pantry cabinet in our shop ahead of time. Rather than just nailing the pieces together, Alan cuts dados or shallow grooves into the sidewalls of the cabinet to support the horizontal shelves.
My shelves will actually go into the cabinet side, and it becomes part of the frame, so it's a much stronger cabinet.
So when we return a few weeks later, we're ready to clear out the kitchen and go to work.
We had a toaster up there?
Did you just say we had a toaster?
We apparently have an extra toaster, okay.
It's always a little strange when you're digging into someone else's cabinets and seeing what they eat, how they live. Hey, Alan. Hey. On Chelsea's phone here, got a text that says from Jamie, "What's for dinner tonight?" You answer that one.
I hope he enjoys eating out tonight, because I don't think we'll be able to get in here today.
However, Chelsea's dog Rosemary is not quite so sure about us.
Jamie calls her my little shadow because I don't go anywhere where she's not following me around. I'm afraid she's gonna trip someone in the midst of this kitchen that feels very, very small with, what, 8, 10 people in there trying to work all at once. So a lot of times, like, the glassware up there gets dirty with the cooking. Will the ventilation help?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Soon, all the stuff is gone and we're ready to remove the old cabinet doors.
Forgot those were in there.
All right, that was fun.
My bad. Oh, come on now, little screw. You can do it. You can do it.
Of course, everybody knows the secret of talking to the screw so that you can get it to come out when you want it out.
Come on, little screw. You can do it.
It's only a half-hour show.
There we go. I got it. I got it.
Here's how to make a non-toxic oven cleaner that's a lot safer than chemical cleaners and a lot faster than using a self-cleaning oven. About a week ago, I took the peel from 2 oranges, put them in a jar, and filled it with white vinegar. Then I took it and poured it into a plant mister. But before spraying it onto the oven, I'm going to sprinkle on some baking soda. The baking soda will really help cut through the caked-on mess we have here. I'll put a little on the door too, see how it works on glass. And now I'm going to spray it on. Spray on the vinegar solution. What you'll see is as you soak this vinegar, the baking soda will start bubbling up. Now we're going to let this work on that stain for about 20 minutes, then we'll come back and wipe it off. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. Let's scrub it off and see how it worked. Here on the inside of the oven, you see some of that gunk is coming right up. It's amazing. All right, now rinse it off. Let me try the glass door too, see how that worked. Now on the door, wow, look at that, worked really well on the glass door. You can see compared to what it used to look like. So there you go. Very effective cleaner and no noxious fumes.
We're making over Chelsea and Jamie's kitchen by refacing the cabinets and replacing the cabinet doors. We'll also add a pantry cabinet with space for a microwave so we can remove this over-the-range unit and replace it with a more efficient range hood.
And I grabbed the bottom of that thing, and it was like grabbing a greased pig.
Whew, that's slippery.
Slippery.
Have you noticed
It's
that?
slippery.
I felt like a piece of bacon after I finished.
To prepare the cabinets, Alan is sanding down any high spots that he finds, and I'm filling in any large voids with auto body filler. I bet by now this stuff is hard, yeah.
So what's the difference between that and the stuff that we put on the wall?
Well, the drywall compound is real easy to sand, but it's a lot softer. This is hard as a rock. Just touch it with your fingernail.
Oh, yeah.
Once all the sanding is complete, we'll clean off the dust and wipe down all the painted surfaces with a liquid deglosser.
That will etch the surface so that the contact adhesive that I put on later will adhere to both the cabinets and, of course, the back of the veneer.
While Alan continues prepping inside, Chelsea and I are headed outside to begin staining the new cabinet doors.
So how many layers of stain does our coats?
Just one.
Just the one?
Just one.
Wow.
So that's why it's
Easy.
real important to make sure that it's nice and even. And I've already stirred this. You don't shake this, you stir it. So we've already done that. So here's what you're going to do. Real steady, put it on, just like that.
It looks good.
Be nice and
Looks
light
really
too
good,
in there.
yeah.
Be pretty cool.
Hoping it'll add some warmth and richness.
Yeah.
It'll make a
Yeah.
heck of a difference.
All you have to do now is you don't want to really pull on it very much, but you're basically, this is just to even it out,
Okay.
and that side is complete.
Nice and easy.
Okay,
Not too bad.
they're all yours. Inside, our electrician, Wayne, is running wire for a new outlet that'll go in the back of the new pantry cabinet to power the microwave. Can you do a little Irish jig when you go across the...
Never mind.
Wow, nice look.
I don't think I need to do a filler.
After Wayne finishes installing the outlet, Alan secures the pantry to the other cabinets and the wall.
Oh, it looks great.
Oh, you like it?
Yes, it looks so good.
Oh, good.
Oh my God, look at all that space.
A lot of space, microwave here. And watch this. Tornado could come,
Oh my God.
and this is gonna still stay in place.
Oh, that's good. It looks so good. Like, I can't even tell you.
Oh, good.
I just get tongue-tied because it's so exciting to have this new thing, and just holy cow. I know I'm a grown-up because having a new pantry in my kitchen is like the best thing about my year. And now I can put all the stuff that was on the counters, like the toaster and things we don't actually use.
That's right.
Back in the cabinets where it's supposed to go. Oh, so excited.
When Jamie gets home, we put him right to work, applying contact cement to the back of the veneer that will cover the cabinets. When Alan said, do we want to do inside or outside, it's pretty obvious why we want to be outside. It smells bad.
Yeah.
So he'll come out a little loopy, loopier than normal. And that's saying a lot, I can tell you that. After each piece is carefully pressed in place, we use a roller to force out any air bubbles and ensure that it's secure. Next, Alan uses a mill file along the cuts, pressing down and toward the cabinet to smooth the surface without fraying the veneer. While Jamie, Alan, and I continue cutting and applying veneer, Chelsea gets started on their overnight project, staining the new pantry cabinet.
Having a cordless power drill is great because it moves those DIY projects down the road pretty quickly and you're done. But sometimes when you're working with a power drill, you can't get into those tight spaces. So typically you reach for your manual screwdriver, and maybe your little stub here can get into those tight spaces. But you know what? Sometimes this is too big too. So a nice solution to that problem is the Milwaukee offset adapter. Now I've got one here attached to this little power drill here. And look at the size, first of all. See how small that is when you compare it to the stubby? I mean, wow, it's basically half the size, so it's gonna get in those really tight spaces. All you do is you simply attach it to your power drill. Now you need to set your power drill at a lower speed because this needs to run at a lower RPM. You hold onto the thumb flange, and at an angle, you're now able to put in screws, drive them in, or back them up if you need to. It sure beats having to bang your knuckles and your fingers and using your own hand strength to try to tighten those screws or loosen them. So if your project takes a left turn, this is a good solution for you.
The facelift for Chelsea and Jamie's kitchen starts day 2 with more cabinet refacing. Boy, the new pantry cabinet looks great, and Jamie and Chelsea did a really good job late last night putting all the polyurethane on. Now, while they're taking care of all of this work in here, Chelsea and I are going to get the cabinet doors ready and start the polyurethane process. But before we start applying that, we need to drill the holes for their hinges. All right, this is a little template that we made so that all of the hardware will be spaced exactly the same. And so it's recessed hardware, so we've got a little recess we have to create right there, and we can't go too far because we don't want it to come through the front.
Yes.
Because even stain won't cover that up. So you think you would rather do this or polyurethane?
I might stick with the poly just to leave the hard job to the professionals.
So as quickly as I get a door drilled, Chelsea begins applying the polyurethane finish. Meanwhile, Alan and Jamie have been cutting pieces of veneer for the rails and stiles of the cabinets so they can finish covering up the boxes.
How do you know when it's okay to put the veneer on?
Well, the thing is, with contact cement, you've got almost a 2-hour window before you have to. So you could wait a long time. It can be totally dry and it'll work. But if it's just tacky, if it's like this and you can just feel it stick on your fingerprints,
Okay.
but it's not coming off,
Right.
it's ready.
The stiles are the vertical pieces, and they have to go in place first so you can measure the space between them to cut the horizontal pieces called rails.
Once we stick the veneer on, how long do we need to wait before we trim the edges off?
Honestly, I could trim it now.
Okay.
I just like to leave it because I know I've got more to do anyway.
Okay.
So by the time I finish one section, say the wall cabinets, then I'll go back and trim everything one time.
Okay, got it.
Overlapping edges are trimmed using either a sharp utility knife or a router with a flush trim bit. This process is repeated again and again all day long. All right, there you go. Just a little more filing. I think this will be ready for the stain work, which is the next step, is to clean up a little contact cement here, make sure all of the sawdust is out of the way, and then tonight our paint crew, Jamie and Chelsea, will be able to apply all the stain, and when they do, it's gonna look just like this. This overnight work is important, so the stain will be dry by morning. Well, this is going to make more of a difference than anything else in here compared to what you had as far as ventilation.
Right. Well, standing right here, you actually say that. I can see stains on the wall.
But the cool thing about this, not only is it a lot more streamlined, look at the zones here. There's only 3 zones, which is really, really quiet. So you'll end up using it a lot more than you did before.
That's great. When Chelsea's in here cooking, her biggest complaint is she can't actually hear the TV. So,
oh, no, really?
So now she'll be able to hear it when she's running the vent.
You and I can have this thing done in just a short amount of time.
Wonderful.
Outside, Alan and Chelsea are cutting some crown molding to trim out the top of the cabinets. And as usual, Alan's explanation of the process involves some silliness.
Some of the best people in life and in this world are a little kooky. Alan may be one of those people.
Now I have to flip this over upside down, reverse my angle, so now I'm looking this way upside down. And if I could cut it this way, I'd be good.
I like when people can be a little silly and embrace that about themselves, so that made me trust them a little bit more, actually.
Okay.
It must be working because Chelsea is really taking to carpentry.
Perfect.
Whew.
Okay, right,
It's a
on,
rush.
right on your tick mark.
Until she meets the nail gun.
The nail gun does not like me. Okay, it doesn't look that hard, right? Using a nail gun, you put it and you pull the trigger, and that's how it should work. And it apparently did not like me very much, because no matter what I did, I pulled and like it would just stop. And like it was like the trigger was like, nope, not you, not today.
I could stay here until the next big holiday. I mean, gotta explain me to the family.
Ah, yes. So excited.
In the meantime, Jamie and I have installed the vent hood, and it's working beautifully. And once we mount the hinges on the new cabinet doors, they're ready to start going in place. Clamping a guide board along the bottom of the cabinet ensures that all of the doors line up with each other properly.
Oh yeah.
When the doors are in place and the holes are drilled for the hardware, it's finally time for more polyurethane. So is it look any better than the old kitchen you had?
It's kind of hard to tell. It's really subtle differences.
Apparently, Alan's twisted sense of humor is contagious. Before we started, Jamie and Chelsea's kitchen had plenty of space, but the cabinets weren't meeting their storage needs, and they certainly lacked any visual appeal. The over-the-range microwave they added had given them counter space, but had taken away both cooking space and proper ventilation. With a little less than $2,000 in materials and several long days of work, we've managed to make a big improvement. The new vent hood is brighter, quieter, and more efficient, and gives them room to cook their gumbo again. The pantry cabinet we added is the perfect spot for a countertop microwave, plus any and every kind of food they'll ever need to store. But the biggest change has to be the feeling of warmth and character we've added by refacing the cabinets and adding new doors and hardware. The flooring and countertops were in great shape, and the stain color Chelsea chose complements them both beautifully. And I think we've more than met this young couple's expectations.
I did have this anticipation that it was going to be nice wood cabinets, and that was going to be a great improvement. But to look at it right now, it's far superior to that. It's amazing.
It's I feel like life-changing, and that might be a little bit exaggerating, but not really. I mean, we're gonna gain so much counter space back and so much cabinet space back. I feel like even having that tall pantry adds so much height to the room and makes the whole house feel warmer and of a higher quality and just different. And I think that that is really part of what's been so amazing about this whole thing.
Jamie and Chelsea are so happy with their new kitchen, and they should be. It really turned out nice, and they played a very important role in making it look this nice because they spent so many hours working together, applying several coats of polyurethane to really lock in the beauty. They were great to work with, and I hope we've been able to provide you a little bit of inspiration and maybe a few ideas to be able to improve your home. I'm Danny Lipford. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you next week, right here on Today's Homeowner. And what does she say? Didn't hurt at all. I didn't move.
You need me to help you hold that?
Get that off of me. What did you put on me? What did you put on me?
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.